welcome to the Mumbling Gamer. On today's moment, we're going to be predicting what will happen in video games in 2025. Remember, if you like this video, to like and subscribe for future mumbles, so let's begin.
Firstly, we have the Switch 2. It's not that out-of-the-box idea to predict that it's going to come out this year. I have a different type of prediction. A prediction that the Switch 2 will be more than meets the eyes.
It feels like when we get the PlayStation next generation, we know what we're going to get. An upgrade to the last generation. It's the norm of the industry, but Nintendo are in kind of new territory because it does feel like with every new generation comes a new innovation, but also kind of more gimmicks. Some are good and some are bad. Some are the hybriding, amazing thing of new console thing that has evolved into a whole genre of console, of gaming really. And then we have the 3D headaches, making my prediction that Switch 2 will kind of still fondle
You freak!
their release. Nothing like the Wii U. I do still think it's going to be called the Switch 2. What will make this release leap and bounds ahead of Wii U? But something will happen. I don't know what it will be, and I don't think it will be generation ruining like the remote being an iPad or the console giving me a headache, but I just think it's going to throw in like a kind of Ring Fit, a Wii Fit in there that will be at the beginning of the release and be slightly more confusing. To think the Switch 2 will go off with a bang, but with a bit of confusion with it.
This is my first prediction of 2025, so before we get to number 2, let's just take a minute to like and subscribe for future mumbles. Kingdom Hearts 4 is one of them games what have disappeared, and I think 2025 is the year of the heart.
Even though we have seen a kind of decent trailer for the next game, but in the year of 2025, I predict that Kingdom Hearts 4 will have a release date. In the trailer, I predict that we'll see more stories and a planet or two. One of the biggest predictions being that I think we will see in the year of 2025 Star Wars in a Kingdom Hearts trailer.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
As my prediction is that the reason we haven't seen much is because it's difficult to design this realism they're going for, because they wouldn't have shown off this trailer if we weren't going to get these realism Disney IPs. I'm hoping to hell waters that we don't get like a remakes like Aladdin and Lion King as worlds, because that would be nightmarish, but I do think we will get an MCU and kind of a Star Wars world in Kingdom Hearts, as I do think this is the reason we haven't seen much of it. One of the reasons being there's maybe some legal reason why we haven't seen these and it's kind of going through the woodworks, but the other reason is it can't be easy to completely change what they usually have done. Obviously Kingdom Hearts 2 was a massive leap to Kingdom Hearts 3, but it was still a similar thing. It just feels like the next one is just going to be completely different, and that does kind of make me think that this is why we haven't seen anything in so long. But I do think 2025 will be the year we see more gameplay, because we have technically seen gameplay, an actual Disney world, but I do think it will be Star Wars, like an end thing. We'll hear the lightsaber or the Keyblade will have a lightsaber theme to it. I do think we will see this in 2025, and because of this new world, it's going to take a little bit longer, but just let Kingdom Hearts 4 cook. How's that?
2024 was such a weird year for gaming. PlayStation kind of just gave up and had a break of releasing any AAA massive games. Xbox was just being Xbox, and Nintendo, well, they are gearing up for the next generation of console. But through this, PlayStation kind of struck gold, and if they mine it correctly, it could be worth more than an Astrobot.
I was very late onto the bandwagon of Astrobot.
Hey, you.
finally awake.
As I went into my little stocking on Christmas and found the game of the year. And there was some excitement there, but still some thought of why would I play this game when I could play Mario Sunshine? I sat down on the 27th of December, my B-day by the way, stupid Christmas so close to my B-day still felt. Anyway, it still felt a little meh. But 10 minutes passed in this game and I felt something special here. And it did feel like this was the next generation of PlayStation platformers. Since Astro Bot being maybe one of the most popular games of 2024, PlayStation have changed their tune and thought of bringing back old IPs. So in the year of 2025, I predict that we will see at least 2 trailers for some old IPs we haven't saw for years since the PS3, PS2 era. The infamous will rise from the ashes, the sly in your eye will be seen, but will we make an Ape Escape, as Jak and Daxter will cement their legacy in the kill zone? As there's really so many. We have infamous Sly Raccoon, Ape Escape, Jak and Daxter, or even Killzone. All these forgotten IPs could make a buttload of money, but it's just sitting in the vault of PlayStation, weirdly. And with these days when we got God of War TV shows, we got Helldivers TV shows, we got new PlayStation things announced recently, feels like they need to bring back these games to make more films using these established IPs. They can't just keep on making Marvel games. And whatever realistic game that's coming out next. Oh, there it is.
Actually, this is the prediction video, so we do kind of need to go a bit more in depth of what these announcements could actually be. So, without further ado, I really want to announce that it will be Ape Escape. That's what my soul is saying, Ape Escape, but Astro Bot was so close to being that similar game. But here we go, my predictions of what PlayStation will announce from their retro vault.
I am predicting that we do finally see the return of Sly Cooper returning to our consoles after such a long time. I would be kind of surprised if Sucker Punch do develop it, but Insomniac Games still make Ratchet & Clank. They could make their massive games alongside that sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. All these massive PlayStation studios could have these smaller teams making these smaller games from the PS2 and PS1 era. Ghost of Tsushima movies and animes give me all, yum, 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 I'd eat it all up, but it doesn't really appeal to that younger audience, that Mario possible audience. But Sly Cooper, he's a raccoon. He's cute, little cute turtle, little pink hippo. It's great. It's that first step into like a new era of video games where they actually put effort into smaller games alongside their big AAA ones. Oh, I forgot I need a second one. Okay, inside I'm thinking Killzone or Infamous, but it does feel like if they're going through like a reboot, a rejuvenation so to speak, they would be on the level of the God of War. And we don't want to just bring more big ass AAA games into it, we want these smaller kind of games. And I can't really go with Ape Escape because Ape Escape is just kind of like Astro Bot. It basically is Astro Bot, but instead of monkeys we have robots, even though personally I would have rathered an Ape Escape like Astro Bot. But then anyway, I think I would have to go with Jak and Daxter. You could still make a small time game of Jak and Daxter but still reboot it. I think that would be probably the best decision for them to pick out of the old IPs, and I think it could be a lot more small time. I can't remember what it was like at 3. I know it suddenly turned into a car game, it wasn't great, and then they had a PSP exclusive. So yeah, I don't know how it would look in the reboot, but I think that would work with these new rejuvenated IPs. As we're not looking for a God of War like reboot here, we're looking for like an Astro Bot size reboot, if that makes sense. I think it does.
Trends in video games come and go. Zombies, vampires, Japan, samurai, but there is one that has outstayed its welcome, this being GaaS, Game as a Service. But in 2025, I predict a big change.
Some weird things happened in 2024 with games, but one of them really being how many new GaaS games we got, also known as Games as Service. There's still some surprises like Marvel Rivals that took the King Shark and ran with it, still going strong, but it feels like that was really a success due to the massive failure of the Overwatch 2 launch and that black hole it kind of made in that genre, and it didn't feel like an absolute shoehorn of a multiplayer game at the last minute. Even though studios will show their horseshoe at this genre of games to try and find that golden goose, that ultimate money, that unlimited player base. I am predicting GaaS in 2025 will be seen as a genre like multiplayer first-person shooters. We still maybe will get one or two, like a Helldivers 2, what does release and has something original, but every single other one will be dead in the water. But it hasn't yet, and I still think we have that one last year while we'll get some more releases in this genre of games.
Sweet liberty! No!
The era of video game movies and TV seems to be just beginning, and I predict that in 2025 it will grow to new heights. Some may say an MCU kind of heights.
We have already seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, soon we'll definitely see some more ugly. But it feels like the year of 2025 will see massive, and I mean massive, announcements for video game movies and TV. Even though writing this right now, we have had Helldiver 2, Ghost of Tsushima's animes, and Horizon Zero movie announced. And it's only been 7 days into the year when I'm writing this, but I see that there's going to be so much more announced in 2025. I see video games dominating TV and film across the board. It's going to be like Marvel and video games, and DCU now probably as well. I see a lot of the announcement happening in 2025, and in 2026 that will be the norm. Let's go a little bit deeper. This is a prediction video, predicting that there's going to be more video game media is like predicting that 2025 will have a game of the year. So let's predict what will be announced. First, I think Dark Souls or Elden Ring will announce a movie or a TV show, and it will be confusing from the trailer as to what is happening though. And secondly, we will get Red Dead Redemption TV show or film, as it feels like these are being teased and dripped through, and it just feels like it's going to happen. It feels like I hear about it now and again, and it just feels like it's like a console, you know, when it gets closer to release date, you start hearing these rumors, and it feels like I hear about Red Dead Redemption's movies or TV shows a bit too often for it not to be happening. And lastly, a shot in the seed bag, I predict that we will see a Stardew Valley TV show. Imagine it like a farm, all creatures great and small, but you probably don't know what it is, so imagine it like a relaxing kind of Yellowstone mixed with some corporate kind of stuff. Obviously you need a villain, that's going to be the corporation. I just think it would work like a relaxing TV show based on a game. I think it being maybe one of the most successful games ever, it makes sense.
These are the big 3 announcements I think that will be announced this year for video game type film and TV. And after that, I do think it will grow to new heights in 2026 even further. For better or worse, maybe even making some fatigue in the future. But what do you think? What do you predict for 2025? Comment below. That's it for this mumble. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for future mumbles, and I will see you on the next mumble.